Video 13. Immutability. We have a single objective in this video. We will show you why immutability is so important in React. In the previous video, we made a copy of the squares state array and mutated the copy, and then we set the squares state array to be the modified copy. We'll now discuss immutability and why immutability is important to learn. There are generally two approaches to changing data. 1. The first approach is to mutate the data by directly changing the data's values. 2. The second approach, using the immutability principle, is to replace the data with a new copy which has the desired changes. We will add some temporary code examples, and log them to the console. Now, let's mark out some space to put our temporary examples. We will start by highlighting the first approach, using mutability. We will create an object holding the score and name of a player, who we will call player A, and then print out the object. Now, we will mutate player A's score directly, and print out the object again. In Chrome's JavaScript console, you can see the value of player A before and after mutation. Now, we will first highlight the second approach, using immutability. We will create an object for player B. This time, we will make a copy of player B, and update the new version, using object destructuring. Now, we will print out the original player B, and the new version of player B. In Chrome's JavaScript console, you can see the value of player B and the value of its updated copy. There are three major benefits to using immutability. 1. Complex features become simple. Immutability makes complex features much easier to implement. Later on, we will implement a time travel feature that allows us to review the tic-tac-toe game's history and jump back to previous moves. This functionality isn't specific to games. An ability to undo and redo certain actions is a common requirement in applications. Avoiding direct data mutation lets us keep previous versions of the game's history intact, and reuse them later. 2. Detecting changes. Detecting changes in mutable objects is difficult because they are modified directly. This detection requires the mutable object to be compared to previous copies of itself and the entire object tree to be traversed. Detecting changes in immutable objects is considerably easier. If the immutable object that is being referenced is different than the previous one, then the object has changed. 3. Determining when to re-render in React. The main benefit of immutability is that it helps you build pure components in React. Immutable data can easily determine if changes have been made, which helps to determine when a component requires re-rendering. We will now remove these examples. To show that we cannot use the mutable approach in React, let's return to the handle-click event function. We will first comment out the immutable approach. Now, we can add a mutable way of updating the square's state array. In the browser, we will first click on the square with index 2. You will see that the UI does not update with an X at index 2. Also, no error or warning is shown in the console. React does not know that the square's state array has changed, and therefore does not re-render. Always update state in an immutable way when using React. We will go back to the correct way of updating state. To summarize, we showed you why immutability is so important in React. In the next video, we will enable taking turns in our game.